Hello, listeners, and welcome to the first episode of the Untethering Shame podcast, a podcast where we talk all things shame, what it is, where it comes from, and what we can do about it. Now, before you ask, yes, we're going there. Where is there? Everywhere and anywhere. We're going to cover any and all topics that connect to shame, which, you guessed it, is everything. Now, it's going to take some time, and there will, of course, be topics I don't think of. So I'm going to turn to you to let me know what we need to cover. The plan here is that every week a new episode will drop where I get the opportunity to sit down and talk to another amazing human and dive deep into their own lives, experiences, and or expertise on a given topic. Along the way, I'll pepper in some solo episodes, teaching you about different topics such as our core shame defenses, the power of radical acceptance, or how to break out of the comparison trap, alongside some of my own reflections and experiences, such as dealing with my shame about maybe saying the wrong thing, totally stepping in it with my daughter, misgendering someone, or the omnipresent fear of judgment over my hairy legs and body. Now, as we get started, many of you might be thinking, okay, cool. I love listening to powerful stories and learning about stuff, but if I'm being honest, I don't even really know what shame is, so I'm not sure what I'm going to get out of this. Let's start by getting on the same page. We are all performing, pretending to be someone we've convinced ourselves we have to be to fit in. The person who does it all, has it all, is it all. Why? Because we've bought into the belief that who we are isn't inherently worthy of belonging. We're unworthy unless we prove otherwise. What we do and who we pretend to be in the world is the performance upon which all of our worth and value is assessed. This is shame. Shame is an emotion. It's the uncomfortable, painful feeling that we experience when we believe we, at our core, are flawed, inadequate, or unworthy of acceptance and belonging. It's that feeling of not being enough that we all know too well. It's triggered when a person experiences a threat to connection or belonging. Connection is vital for survival. We need to feel a sense of connection to the world, and especially people around us, to feel rooted. And shame is an experience we feel whenever there's a threat, real or perceived, to that connection and rooting. Now, in some cases, we could say, oh my gosh, this is so helpful. It allows people to have a check and balance for how they show up in the world and how they contribute to their community. It could help guide our behaviors, because if we feel shame, maybe we need to make a change. Now, this is one of the spots where people need some clarification about what the term actually means. Shame is a threat to connection and belonging based on who you are. Meaning, when you feel shame, you believe that you as a person are broken, unworthy, unlovable. This belief does nothing but keep you stuck feeling broken and less than. What is helpful is guilt. Guilt is a compelling and incredible emotion. Guilt is an experience of feeling bad for what we do or have done. It's about the action or impact rather than who I am at my core. If you do something wrong, take a misstep, or things don't go quite as expected, shame will tell you that you're the problem. You're a failure. You're bad. Guilt will tell you that you failed or that you did something bad. In short, shame is a cloak you wear every day telling you that you're flawed and broken. It's a label internalized. Guilt is something you can pick up and put down. It can empower action and evolution when we give it that space to do so. Now, let's go back to the idea that shame is an emotion. This means it's something universally experienced that we can't condition ourselves out of feeling. It's there. We feel it. It may not be about your entire being, but we've all internalized beliefs that some aspect of who we are is flawed. And as such, we have to perform in a manner that protects us and doesn't allow for others to see it. So where does this come from, and what can we do about it? Shame is directly sourced from what we call our core beliefs. Core beliefs are our beliefs about ourselves and our place in this world. Now, we're going to talk more about core beliefs in coming episodes, but in short, these are the beliefs we have about what we have to do, how we have to act, and how we need to present to the world to be worthy of love, connection, and belonging. It's the idea that we're only good enough, worthy, or lovable if fill in the blank. And this belief system becomes the entry point for shame. Our core beliefs are the basis for our life rulebook, and shame is the enforcer or motivator to stay in line with and follow the rules. We feel it when we don't meet those expectations, maybe when our body looks a certain way, when we mess up in a presentation, when we face rejection in our lives, when someone's upset with us. Because we're supposed to be able to do it all and be it all for everyone around us, no matter the cost. But the more we feel it, it compounds on itself. The more airtime that our shame gets to try and convince us of what we have to do or be to counteract that threat, the deeper we fall into our performance and what I see as personality disintegration. We can no longer answer the question, who am I? Because all that's left is the performance. Oh, do I even like this job? Did I want kids? Am I happy? Or have I just convinced myself of all of these things for so long, it feels like it just has to be true? Who is it that I have to be accepted? And what do I have to hide to ensure that? Now the question becomes, what can we do about it? The biggest and strongest countermeasure to shame is to talk about it. Shame can only grow in dark, quiet places. It gets its power from silence. In silence, it can grow and convince you that everyone sees you this way. Your silence is shame's platform. Once you share it with people and in settings that feel safe and supportive, you'll find that shame has no place there. You'll see that not everyone, and in most cases, no one actually perceives you the way that you assumed they did. People often feel refreshingly connected and energized by your sharing because the connection they can feel to you as a whole person in front of them is way deeper than that connection they felt with some automated and sterile version of you. So this is why we're here. We're here to give a voice to our shame, to find the roots and untether ourselves from it. Whether you're telling your story directly, connecting with someone else's, or simply expanding your awareness of how shame can affect others, we're working to bring light into the shadows. So as you listen to each episode, solo episodes, the interviews where we get to meet so many amazing people, I want you to be mindful of something. You are going to notice resistance to connecting to me, connecting to other people, a pull away from the topics. Whether it's dismissing of your own experience or the depth of someone else's, comparing yourself and assessing yours or someone else's worth or right to pain based on how it measures up to some subjective criteria, shame is going to try and keep you stuck in a silo. It wants you to keep playing the game of who's better, who's worse, who's more deserving. That way, you're too distracted to connect. That's okay. We're not going to be able to do anything about that right now. We just aren't there. So what I want you to do instead is just recognize it's going to happen. When it happens, it's normal. Be here anyways. Listen, take it in, connect with me through voice memos or the Q&As and the polls, or emailing me, honestly, or just reaching out to anybody in your life, whether that's the guests on the show or people that are listening to it with you or anybody that you just want to talk to about what's coming up. Share these episodes and be a part of the dialogue while we begin the process of cultivating shame resilience in each of us. Remember, connection is the antidote to shame. So I'm so pumped to get started on this journey with you. Will you come along with me?